Cornelis Maartenszoon Tromp was a Dutch naval officer. He was the son of Lieutenant Admiral Maarten Tromp. He became Lieutenant Admiral General in the Dutch Navy and briefly Admiral General in the Danish Navy. He fought in the first 3 Anglo-Dutch Wars and in the Scanian War. Biography. Early life. Cornelis Maartenszoon Tromp was born on the 9th of September 1629 in Rotterdam, in the county of Holland, the historically dominant province of the Dutch Republic. He was the second son of Maarten Maartenszoon Tromp and Dina Cornelis Maartenszoon. His name Maartenszoon, sometimes abbreviated to Maartens, is a patronymic and means son of Martin. He had 2 full brothers, Harper and Johan. In 1633, when he was only 4 years old, his mother died. His father remarried in 1634 and again in 1640. The 2 marriages together brought Tromp 4 half-brothers and 5 half-sisters. His father had made career as an officer for the Admiralty of the Maas. After a conflict with Lieutenant Admiral Philips van Dorp in 1634, Maarten Tromp left the fleet, starting to work as a deacon. After van Dorp was removed from his position in 1637, his father became Lieutenant Admiral and Supreme Commander of the Dutch Navy. In 1642, Cornelis Tromp was sent to Harfleur in France to learn to speak French from a Calvinist preacher. Early Navy career. On the 1st of September 1643, he joined his father on his flagship the Emilia. In September 1645, he was appointed as lieutenant. On the 22nd of August 1649, he was made a full captain. He served in the First Anglo-Dutch War, fighting in the Battle of Leghorn, but wasn't given command of the Mediterranean Fleet after the death of Johan van Galen, only being promoted to Rear Admiral with the Admiralty of the Maas on the 11th of November 1653 after the death of his beloved father Martin. In 1656, he participated in the relief of Gdansk. In 1658, it was discovered he had used his ships to trade in luxury goods. As a result, he was fined and not allowed to have an active command until 1662, just before the Second Anglo-Dutch War. He was promoted to Vice Admiral on the 29th of January 1665, at the Battle of Lowestoft. He prevented total catastrophe by taking over fleet command to allow the escape of the larger part of the fleet. Lieutenant Admiral gaining sudden popularity, he was temporarily given Supreme Command as Lieutenant Admiral of the Confederate Fleet on the 23rd of July 1665, but he had to give up this function the next month in favor of Lieutenant Admiral Michiel de Ruyter. He fought, having been transferred to the Admiralty of Amsterdam on the 6th of February 1666, under the latter in the 4 Days Battle and the St. James's Day Battle. As this failure off Nieuwpoort in August 1666 was imputed to him by de Ruyter, he was dismissed at the same time, being under the suspicion of plotting to overthrow the government, but he returned in April 1673, after the Oranges seized power, to fight against the French and English navies in the Third Anglo-Dutch War, where he participated in the last 3 fleet actions under Lieutenant Admiral General Michiel de Ruyter, distinguishing himself in the double Battle of Schooneveld and the Battle of Texel in August 1673, fighting out an epic duel with his personal enemy, Edward Spragge, who drowned. During this war, his flagship was the Gouden Leeuw, of 82 cannon. He was closely involved in the murder of Johan de Witt and Cornelis de Witt in 1672. In 1675 he was created an English baronet and a Dutch earldom by Charles II of England, but he refused an honorary doctorate when visiting Oxford. Danish Navy. On 8 May 1676, he became Admiral General of the Danish Navy and Knight in the Order of the Elephant. In 1677, Count of Salzburg, he defeated the Swedish Navy in the Battle of Åland, his only victory as a fleet commander. Lieutenant Admiral General. On 6 February 1679, he became Lieutenant Admiral General of the Republic but never fought in that capacity, having become a liability to the new regime of William III. He died in Amsterdam in 1691, his mind broken by alcohol abuse and remorse, still officially commander of the Dutch fleet, after having been for a period replaced by Cornelis the youngest. Character. Tromp was a very aggressive squadron commander who personally relished the fight, preferring the direct attack, having the weather gauge over line of battle tactics. As a result, he had to change ships often, 4 times at the 4 Days Battle, 3 times at Schooneveld and 2 times at Texel. He was popular with his crews, despite the danger he put them in, because of his easygoing manners and his supporting the cause of the House of Orange against the States regime of Johan de Witt. However, he often treated his fellow officers with contempt, both his equals and superiors. Indeed, he is today infamous for his insubordination, although the 2 examples most often mentioned in this context, not following de Ruyter on the 2nd day of the 4 Days Battle and chasing the English rear in the St. James's Day fight, seem to have been honest mistakes. He was very jealous of de Ruyter but generally treated him with respect, though he considered him too common. Tromp tried to imitate the lifestyle of the nobility, marrying a rich elderly widow, Margaretha van Rieforst, in 1667. He had no children. At home, without fighting to distract him, Cornelis, or Keys as he was normally called, grew quickly bored and indolent. He had the reputation of being a heavy drinker, so much so that many inns at the time were named after him. An example book for inn signs proposed the following inscription: in the Admiral Tromp, the heaviest drinker that is known, is Tromp, as he has often shown. So all real men gather here, to likewise fill their mouths with beer. Tromp was a vain man, having an extremely high opinion of himself, which he never hesitated in sharing with others. He felt that, son of a famous father, he had a natural right to the position of naval hero. During his life he posed as a sitter for at least 22 paintings, a record for the 17th century, many by top artists such as Ferdinand Bol. His art possessions were displayed in his estate, that long after his death was called Trompenburg, the manor house built in the form of a warship. His wider family was among the most fanatical supporters of Orange. He participated in most of the schemes, especially those of his brother-in-law Johan Kievit, a shrewd and unscrupulous intriguer. Tromp, however, had no great enthusiasm for subtle plotting. Later in life he came to regret many of his actions. He died in great mental anguish, convinced he would go to hell as punishment for his crimes. Legacy. The Dutch Ministry of Defense names Maarten Tromp and Cornelis Tromp as naval heroes. Since 1777, 9 Navy ships have been named Tromp in honor of them, most recently the frigate HNLMS Tromp. In the Dutch movie, Michiel de Ruyter, he was portrayed by the actor Hugo Bruins.